Years ago, I created a small bug hotel in the wildlife area here at Beech Grove, but this year we've gone bigger and larger. We've got this sort of horrible concrete block wall here, which we've then decided to put a big bug hotel onto, and the idea is to come and extend it all the way out along the wall behind me. So what we've done to create this habitat for the bugs and pollinators in our garden is using lots of dried material that we can just find and forage from home. And various different sizes, we've nestled them in there. We also have sort of bits of bark just off the tree, and that can provide bits of habitat in there. And you want things like spiders, ladybirds, lacewings to all nest in here. We've used dried leaves, we've got a section for straw up here. And then for the solitary bees, we've cut canes about 15 centimetres long. And they will use these hollow stems to come in and lay their young. So we've positioned that. And you want this bug hotel to be facing south in the garden. And we have also used some monoblocks down at the bottom and some slate. And you could use terracotta pots as well. And then these just provide little areas for the bugs to get in, hibernate and nestle in there. This area here is a big tree trunk, so we have just cut through this slice of a tree trunk and then drilled 6, 7, 8 mil different sized holes into that, and that provides lots of areas for the solitary bees. So providing all these different areas and even pine cones allows spiders and ladybirds to nest in there. We are next to our vegetable plot here, so we want to provide pollinators into this area of the garden, and you can even plant pollinator friendly plants like this Verbena bonariensis right next to the bug hotel. But it's a lovely feature. It also has a bit of a cover on the top, as that will help shelter it and make sure it doesn't get too wet or rot or anything, but it will naturally decay over a number of years and provide a wonderful habitat and ecosystem for your bugs.
A good border is made up of a mixture of plants. You've got the bulbs and herbaceous that give us a splash of colour as they come and go, but it's the often overlooked shrubs that I want to look at today, where a good one can be the backbone of any good garden. This is the calendar border here up at the Beech Grove, and it's made up of a mixture of shrubs, different shapes, sizes, coloured foliage. First of all, you've got the evergreens, the mahonia, where it's holly-like foliage, lovely scented yellow flowers in winter, giving us a bit of cheer just when we need it most. And then we've got the likes of this osmanthus. I love this plant, lovely white flowers, and the scent that you get from them in April and May is just wonderful too. Now, to get the best of all these plants, we want to get our pruning correct. We don't want to come in with a hedge cutter and just hack them to death. And really, you want to be watching Beech Grove every week of the year just to find out when the right time to do your correct pruning is. But you want to get that right to get the best of your shrubs. But then you've got your clever kind of pruning, and that's what the gardens team have been doing here. So this osmanthus must be about 15, 20 years old now, and you could argue it's kind of outgrown its space now that it's grown on for all these years. But instead of getting rid of it, I love what the gardens team have done. They've taken away all these lower branches to reveal the stems, and they've even lifted up the crown a bit here by chopping away. And by doing that, if it's next to a path, it means I can walk under it no problem. But here, it's allowed to get extra light into the Vigelia, into the conifer here, and that helps them grow properly too. And then over here, well, it doesn't matter how well you prune. During the summer, there's always a wee branch that just gets in its way, and we've got two of the best low-grown shrubs you can ever have for your border here. You've got the spirea and you've got a potentilla. They never let you down. They're one wee snip. Just trace that branch back. I think there's a nice wee point here. If I take it off, there you go. I can now walk up that path and I get to enjoy these shrubs. Looking fantastic. Now, from surrounding buildings and trees, there'll always be pockets of sun and shade in your garden. If you've got a shady spot, maybe go for something with variegated foliage, like a holly. Or try this. This is a Chinese witch hazel. Now during this time of year, it's kind of blending into the rest of the border, but I guarantee you, come January, February time, this is going to light up your garden. Like spidery yellow flowers that scent as well. You'll absolutely love this plant. And then you might want to go for shrubs with specific interests. So for me, you can't beat a berberis for wildlife. And look at the colour of this one too. So in the spring, when the flowers are out, well, the pollen are perfect for those early season pollinators. And then later on in the year, it's going to have little berries which the birds can nibble away on. And then you can't beat autumn. And one of the best shrubs I'll have for that is this one. This is the Persian ironwood here. Now the colours that this tree will give you is just phenomenal. Maybe dark crimson to orange to yellow. But we've got this blank little pocket here, and it's perfect now for finding a plant to go into it. If you are looking for a shrub, then I would think to go for something more about the foliage than the flowers, because the foliage is pretty much what you're going to be looking at for the vast amount of the year. This one here's a cracker. This is Catinus. This one's Golden Lady. And this is a beautiful plant, this one. And it's also known as the smoke bush. So round about August time, you're going to get these plumes of flowers which just look like smoke. And that autumn mist is just a wonderful little plant. And how about the two of these going together as well? What a colour combination. And then the last plant I'm going to look at, because I think this just sums up us gardeners full stop. So this is Caryopsis Dark Night. And to be honest, it's probably a bit of a gamble for this part of Aberdeenshire. But you know what? Sometimes you just go to the garden centre and you just fall in love with a plant. And you're going to try it no matter what you think about it. So we're going to give it the best conditions we can. We've got a sheltered spot here. It's facing south, so we'll get that sun. And who knows, it might just add perfection to the shrub border.
So you might remember these sweet pea hanging baskets that I planted up earlier in the spring, and in June they were just green, but now we've got lots of lovely sweet pea flowers. But a little tip to do right now is to make sure that they don't go to seed, so keep them dead-headed, and then you want to keep picking the flowers, and then you'll end up with lots more flowers, and then keep them well watered and fed throughout the summer.
The long clusters of fragrant wisteria flowers is one of the sights of spring for me. But to keep this vigorous growth in check and to have your wisteria flowering good next year requires some specific pruning now. I want you to remember 2 and 7. So trace one of these extension growths all the way back to last year's cut. Then I want you to count 7 leaves. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So in the month of July, 7, we're going to cut from 7 leaves. And we'll do that little snip here. And then in February, month 2 of the year, we're actually going to do the same process, but we're only going to leave 2 this time. And that'll help create the flowering spurs for next year, where we can bring the touch of the tropics back to Beech Grove. So before we go, we're looking for your gardening questions. In a couple of weeks' time, George and I will be answering your gardening queries. So if there's anything you'd like to ask us, go to bbc.co.uk/Beech Grove, follow the links and send us your question.
You can also send something in by social media on our usual platforms.
Callum and Ruth are going to be up in the garden next week. Callum will be in the pond and Ruth will be planning for some January blooms.
And remember, you can watch us anytime on BBC iPlayer. But from Brian and I, it's bye for now.
Muhteşem bir program. Sakın kaçırmayın.